The League of Women Voters of Port Washington, Manhasset has hosted this luncheon since 1985, and we are grateful for the town's continued confidence in us. Thank you. Thank you, North Hempstead. Okay, we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the town's Veterans Advisory Committee. And then we will have a student singing the national anthem. That's Joseph D'Angelo, a senior at Manhasset High School. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
All people of this free country, thank you to the veterans that are serving us. Please put your hand over your heart, face the American flag, and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Joseph. Joseph, don't leave us. Don't leave us for one moment. I'm going to embarrass you. I just can't resist saying something about Joseph, who is here today with his mother, Melissa, and the director of choirs at Manhasset High School, Mr. Jared Berry. Joseph is a senior who sings with Manhasset High's Symphonic Choir. He has performed at the All-Eastern Honor Choir and at the Nassau Music Educators Association All-County Music Festival. He is a member of the Tri-M Music Honor Society at Manhasset High. And Joseph is a varsity rower with the Manhasset crew team. Outside of school, he is a junior firefighter for the Plandome Fire Department. And he also works for the New York Mets on its promotions team. Quite a special young man, I think you would agree. Thank you very much, Joseph. Well, I don't know if she's a singer, but she is amazing. And altogether, quite a terrific person. I'm talking about our town supervisor, Jennifer DeSena, whom I'm so pleased to introduce now. Jennifer DeSena is the 38th Supervisor of the town of North Hempstead. The position of Town Supervisor is the very first elected office that Jen DeSena has ever held. She was first elected in 2021 and was re-elected for a second term this past November. Jennifer DeSena is an attorney, a graduate of Boston College and St. John's University Law School. Her professional career included a stint as an enforcement attorney with the Securities and Exchange Commission. As a volunteer, Supervisor DeSena built an important career as a leader of nonprofit organizations supporting family, health, and safety, in particular the Manhasset Coalition Against Substance Abuse. In office now, just over 2 years, Supervisor DeSena has made a commitment to transparency in the town's operations. She is proud of having initiated tax cuts in North Hempstead and reducing the town's borrowing and debt. Supervisor DeSena has made investing in critical infrastructure a priority. She has pushed momentum on projects designed to improve the quality of life of North Hempstead residents. She established the town's Substance Misuse Advisory Council, which focuses on the issue of opioid and fentanyl poisoning. Supervisor DeSena has served as an officer of the St. Vincent de Paul Society in several Manhasset ministries at St. Mary's Church and is a past board member and general counsel for the Manhasset Women's Coalition Against Breast Cancer. The town of North Hempstead recognized Supervisor DeSena's service to the community in 2020 with her inclusion on the May Newberger Women's Roll of Honor. Supervisor DeSena was recently honored as one of the 2022 Power Women of Long Island by Schnepp's Media and was named a, quote, wonderful woman of leadership, unquote, by the Westbury Newcastle NAACP. She was also a recent honoree of the Indo-American Association for Change. In her spare time, Jennifer DeSena does not sing, I don't think, but she is a runner who participates in races throughout Long Island. She is the mother of 2 sons, now both college students. She's joined today by her husband, Ralph, and her mother. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 38th Supervisor of the town of North Hempstead, the Honorable Jennifer DeSena.
Thank you so much, Amy. And Amy always does an amazing job on this program. It is truly a labor of love. And the good news is, after that wonderful introduction, I don't have anything else to say. So, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us here for our 38th annual State of the Town Address. Nothing in government is accomplished without the help of dedicated partners, and speeches are certainly no different. So I'd like to thank the many constituencies who made this day possible. Before I get started with my address, I'd like to point out that we are holding this event on the eve of International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Especially here on Long Island, a region of the country with as rich and vital a Jewish heritage as any in the nation, it is so important that we acknowledge not only the tragedies of the past, but the scourge of anti-Semitism we still face today. In observation of International Holocaust Remembrance Day and with people suffering in the current conflict in the Middle East, in our hearts, particularly those held hostage in the conflict, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. As we begin today, I would like to extend a huge thank you to the League of Women Voters. For years, their organization has worked tirelessly to ensure that this event is a success, and truly we could not do it without them. A tradition that started decades ago, the League of Women Voters' sponsorship of this event has underscored the organization's unwavering commitment to free and equitable elections, and I thank them for their support of our town. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to our Commissioner of Community Services and Department of Services for the Aging, Kimberly Corcoran Galante. For all she and her talented staff do to make today's event a reality. I'd also like to thank Commissioner Galante for all the wonderful programs and events she spearheads for our town throughout the year, such as our upcoming Lunar New Year celebration, which we have pivoted to indoors at Charles Fischillo Park tomorrow. Thank you, Kim. Thank you to the entire workforce of the town of North Hempstead, led by CSEA Local 7555 President Tom McDonough and his dedicated slate of officers. Thank you for all you do to support and advocate for the best interests of our workforce. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to CSEA Regional Vice President John Mooney and Labor Relations Specialist Dwight Phillip. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. I'd like to thank our department commissioners. Without all of you and your dedicated staff, the many great services, events, and programs here in our town would simply not be possible. I thank you, and the residents thank you. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the Harbor Link staff and their manager, Laura Duig, for all they do to coordinate today's event. Thank you. Thank you to all the Town of North Hempstead elected officials here today, including Receiver of Taxes, Mary Jo Collins, Town Clerk, Ragini Srivastava, Council Member Robert Triano, Council Member Ed Scott, Council Member Dennis Walsh, Council Member Christine Liu, Council Member David Adami, who I believe is on his way, and Council Member Marianne Del Monte. There are numerous other elected and public officials here today, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize those in attendance. I'm very grateful for your support, and our residents are very grateful for your support. But now I'm going to ask, no matter how much you like these people, to please hold your applause until the end. We have with us, on behalf of New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, Stevens Martinez. On behalf of New York State Controller Tom DiNapoli, Joseph Galante. We have New York State Senator Jack Martins, New York State Assemblywoman Gina Salitti, and on behalf of New York State Assemblyman Charles Levine, Jana Loyola Davis. We have Nassau County Controller Elaine Phillips, Nassau County Legislator Samantha Getz, Nassau County Legislator Delia DeRiggi-Witten. We did our town people. Village of Baxter Estates Mayor Nora Hagenson, Village of Flower Hill Mayor Randall Rosenbaum, Village of Manor Haven Mayor John Popolesky, Village of North Hills Mayor Marvin Naddis, Village of Plandome Manor Mayor Barbara Dono, Village of Port Washington North Mayor Robert Weitzner, Village of Williston Park Mayor Paul Urbar, and City of Glen Cove Mayor Pam Panzenbeck. Also, former State Assemblyman Tony Durso, And we have the chief and many members of our Port Washington Police Department here with us. So now let's have a round of applause for our electeds. The town of North Hempstead can only reach its full potential when we have the dedication and participation of all our residents, our business leaders, and our community groups. And when I look out at the engaged faces in the crowd today, each committed to the betterment of our wonderful community, I know that the future of the town of North Hempstead is bright. As an elected official, all I can hope for is constituents who are passionate about the prosperity of our community. One thing that has been reaffirmed during my tenure as town supervisor is that the town of North Hempstead is a community that is passionate about its success. Oops. I see this passion every day in my colleagues in town government and other levels of government who selflessly perform their duties in service to our residents. I see it in our teachers, school superintendents, and school board members who carefully and tirelessly guide the future generations of leaders and influencers. I see a passion for North Hempstead among our local mayors, business and union leaders, our special district commissioners, and civic and business leaders, all of whom work day and night to improve the quality of life for all our residents. And of course, I see this passion in our first responders, our police officers, firefighters, servicemen and women, and healthcare professionals who demonstrate their passion for our town by literally putting their lives on the line to protect it. You are all our heroes, and we are forever indebted to you. The scope, size, and diversity of our town is what gives North Hempstead its character and its strength. It also presents us with unique opportunities. By drawing on all these perspectives, we can create a truly unique and prosperous community. This is a wonderful opportunity that I do not intend to overlook. We are a multifaceted community comprising families, groups, and organizations, all with their own dreams and aspirations. As town supervisor, I have prioritized collaboration with a diverse array of local stakeholders to hear the concerns of our residents and take appropriate action to create positive change. Managing these varied objectives and concerns is no easy task, but we must stay committed to the ideal that what is good for the individual is also good for the town, that what distinguishes one community also distinguishes the town. Because while we're all here today, we must remember we may comprise many unique communities and neighborhoods, but we are one town. As supervisor, I've worked to create a renewed sense of collaboration among our community leaders and constituents. I'm also continuing to build a team of experienced government and private sector professionals who know how to turn vision into reality, many of whom are gathered in this room today, each with their own valuable experience and perspectives. Through this spirit of collaboration, we've been able to accomplish so much. During a period in which many residents have faced great economic uncertainty, we have streamlined town government wherever possible to ease their tax burdens. Since my first day in office, my guiding principle has been returning the town of North Hempstead to a taxpayer-first mentality. And I believe we've made great progress in this regard. I'm proud to have delivered tax cuts to our residents in each of my first 2 town budgets, including a 10% cut this year. Amidst challenging economic times, leadership is measured by results, not promises. We were able to provide millions of dollars of property tax relief to our residents, thanks to a holistic vision for the town as a whole. But more must and will be done. This is possible thanks to our commitment to putting taxpayers first and working with partners in government to find alternate funding services such as grant money to make necessary improvements to town facilities and services. Additionally, we have carefully leveraged federal funds we received as a result of the pandemic to get the maximum use out of every dollar available for our residents. For example, our plan for major improvements on Westbury Ave and Carl Place is nearing its start. After securing federal ARPA funds, we have coordinated with Nassau County to not only overhaul the road, but will include curbing and sidewalks and improve safety conditions with new streetlights and signage. This focus on commuter and pedestrian safety is also emblematic of our commitment to put resident safety first. In a time when mistrust of government and elected officials is high all over the country, we have led our town in an open, honest, and transparent way. Through our landmark North Hempstead TV, our award-winning government access TV channel, we have provided an example of transparency to which many other local governments should aspire. In addition to the relief my first two town budgets provided to residents, I also carried out the most transparent budget approval process in town history, maintaining our commitment to public hearings and work sessions so residents could have their voices heard. And despite the prior board's unwillingness to adopt a budget before Election Day this past year, I am firmly committed to restoring this long-standing good government practice this year. The only thing certain when it comes to the economy is that nothing is certain. As such, holding the line on taxes for our residents and our businesses remains an essential priority. This year, we negotiated and renewed the collective bargaining agreement with our employees' union, with a fair agreement that provides real living wages, reduced health care costs, and educational and training opportunities for all employees. Again, thank you to our CSEA representatives for working with us to find common ground and achieve a solid contract. This will help, yes. This will help to ensure that we are able to attract and retain the quality workforce that our town residents deserve. Our mission to improve our town's building department continues as we await the results of an historic independent audit by the Nassau County Controller's Office expected in the coming weeks. The building department is one of the most forward-facing necessary services that the town administers, and it must be able to be relied on. With this report's findings, we will be better able to improve the department's processes, making its services more dependable and user-friendly for our residents and businesses. We have invested in critical infrastructure, such as our roads, sewers, and waterfronts, and will continue this commitment to our infrastructure town-wide. While communities across the country have been ravaged by the destructive evil of drugs, we established the Town of North Hempstead's Substance Misuse Advisory Council, enabling us as public officials to do everything in our power to save lives through prevention, treatment, and recovery. During a critical time in the housing market, when inflation remains high and the fundamental American dream of home ownership is out of reach for so many of our young Long Islanders, we have fought strenuously for local control of zoning to determine what type of development is consistent with the character of our communities and what gives our residents the best chance to continue to live in a town they recognize and love. A major focus in my second term will be developing a new town master plan. Formulated over 40 years ago, the original master plan no longer reflects the current needs of our residents. In order to address the needs of our residents into the next generation, we must update our master plan to address quality of life and sustainability expectations. Doing so will deliver the results that the original plan once sought. At a time when people are living longer, healthier lives, we have been at the forefront of the living in place movement and senior care for years. Project Independence is widely renowned for the unparalleled service provided for our seniors under its banner, all at no or minimal cost to them. In addition to this, we expanded and forged new relationships with the prominent healthcare facilities in our town. These efforts resulted in a number of benefits to our residents, including a series of free health programs courtesy of North Shore University Hospital. During a time when social, physical, and mental health is rightfully more prioritized than ever, we have invested in parks, programs, and events that provide exercise, recreation, and socialization. Work undertaken at facilities such as Charles Fuschillo Park in Carl Place and Michael Tully Park in New Hyde Park is designed to meet these new needs. For example, we recently constructed a 14-court pickleball complex believed to be the largest permanent complex of its kind in the Northeast and is available for use by all town residents. This is just one example of how we are beginning to reevaluate park and recreational facilities to address new interests and underserved populations. For this, I must recognize Parks Commissioner Kelly Gillen for her commitment and hard work in this area. As we begin to address the need to expand or reimagine our town services, we must also retain our town's commitment to sustainable and environmentally conscious government, safeguarding the health of our community for future generations. None of this would have been possible if we did not work together, if each of us in this room did not put aside politics and ego, roll up our sleeves, and get to work for this town. That's why we are here. That's why the residents of the town of North Hempstead put us all here. We owe them nothing less. Yes, we do. In the coming months, we will continue to revamp our town capital plan to make it a document that works for all of us. At present, our capital plan is a 5-year outlook featuring 10-year authorizations where projects typically have no definite start or end. Effectively, this has reduced the capital plan to nothing more than a wish list for our town. As one of my town board colleagues humorously but very aptly put it, the capital plan is a place where projects go to die. That must change. We need to transform the capital plan from a document that town officials point to and say, it's in the capital plan, with no time frame, to a flexible public plan that accomplishes goals and leads to project completion. To do this, we are going to continue to pare down the capital plan to projects underway. Old, inactive items will be removed, and going forward, we will prioritize 5-year progress mileposts. Doing so will help us improve town management because it goes back to the underlying point about operating better when we work together. The revamped capital plan will also tackle projects town-wide rather than breaking them down along district lines. This will allow us to greatly expedite critical town projects and take full advantage of economies of scale. Take, for example, our town-wide commitment to converting all street lights to economically and environmentally more effective LED lighting. This ambitious yet necessary goal was put into place approximately 10 years ago. To date, however, we're only at about 25% conversion, largely because lighting is converted piecemeal based on each council district receiving only 1/6 of resources annually. If we committed to this at the town-wide level, I'm confident we could achieve 100% LED conversion within 18 to 24 months and see this will give us real savings from volume pricing and lowered electric costs. We also plan to take advantage of all emerging technology and programs to accomplish our goals. For our work in transportation infrastructure, we are excited about implementing computer-assisted, engineering-based evaluations that will assist us in identifying and repairing the most in-need roads town-wide, ensuring that the worst roads are prioritized regardless of location. As I said earlier, we are one town with one shared infrastructure. Our parks and fields will continue to receive much-needed upgrades, from new playgrounds to improved turf and new recreation options, so residents of all ages can stay active and safe. We also need to turn our attention toward our town buildings and other facilities, which will undergo long-neglected work to better meet our future needs, such as HVAC and security upgrades. One specific example of this need is to address long-standing structural issues at the Yes We Can Community Center, a town parks facility and a valuable resource to our residents for over a decade. Yet the center has been plagued by building issues for years, some since it originally opened over 12 years ago. Issues like non-working solar arrays and chronic leaks impinge on daily operations and programming. Permanent solutions must be found to address these flaws. In addition to revamping our town's master plan and other long-range planning initiatives, I will also seek to assess our town code to address outdated and archaic sections that I believe hold us back at times. Make no mistake, as a community and the world changes, there is difficult work ahead. No town in America can seamlessly balance the need for innovation with respect for its traditions. And certainly, this is pronounced in a community as historic and multifaceted as the town of North Hempstead. It's a challenge. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it is a challenge that we are more than ready for. Working together, we have the ability and the passion to build a lasting community, one that celebrates and uplifts its diversity and history. In my first 2 years as town supervisor, it has been an honor to work for you, and I am grateful for the opportunity to continue for the next 2 years. I want to thank everybody for coming together. May God bless you all. Did I turn off the, is that the end of the time? All right, that's good. God bless you all, and God bless the town of North Hempstead.